Hi, this is Zach from Third Coast Ventures, and today's video is the first in a series I am calling the Straits Saga. In about 3 days, I was able to dive 6 different wrecks in the Straits of Mackinac, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to post videos for each one, or at least most of those wrecks that I did. This first one is the Cayuga, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The Straits of Mackinac, the last big trip of the summer. I had worked this summer at getting my open water and subsequently my advanced certification to be able to dive the wrecks I was able to dive on this trip. 3 out of the 4 days of this journey, warm turquoise waters welcomed us to explore the turbulent passage where many ships met their demise. I set up with Bob and Rick from Manistee to Beaver Island, a short and pleasant crossing. Wandering around the island, I read signs describing Beaver Island's Irish heritage and stories of a short-lived, self-anointed Mormon king. The first dive and the first video on this series is the Cayuga. This early steel freighter was state-of-the-art for her time. She carried flour and grain from the Midwest to the East to feed America's factory workers. On a foggy day in 1895, she collided with another ship and sank quickly. Bob and I descended 60 feet to the ship's deck. We see the zebra mussel encased Cayuga at her final resting place. Good visibility and warm water ensure that we will be able to make a thorough inspection of this unique wreck. Coming up at the stern, I think of the hurried panic that the men on this ship must have felt when out of the fog the Joseph L. Hurd came into view right off her port side. Luckily for the men floating in the cold water, a steamer passing by saw them and no lives were lost on that day. A windlass stands on the bow of the ship, a remnant of the dangerous work done on these early freighters. We slipped beneath the deck to where her cargo was stored. Wheat and flour, now long swept away through water and time, were once stacked here. Stacks of flour and oats were loaded here when the Cayuga was harbored in Milwaukee. She was headed for Buffalo, and during that time many ships would have been navigating the passage between Beaver Island and Wogashance Island, a narrow passageway for ships making their way onward to Lake Huron. Maneuvering around a section of the collapsed deck, we come out on the starboard side and have another look at her massive engines. We will continue on up to her cracked bow. Beside the ship, we are greeted by a school of fish and see one of the pontoons that were part of an attempt to raise her from the bottom of the lake shortly after she sank. After 5 years of work and the death of a diver, all efforts to raise and salvage this valuable boat were abandoned. We finish our tour of the ship with a closer look at her massive engines. We were very lucky diving that day considering the visibility and lack of a thermocline. Our luck would continue as the trip progressed. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stick around for the next part of the Straits saga.